Welcome to Beauty Wellness Hair Care. This is a preview from our multi-texture haircutting masterclass. This is a pixie haircut on textured hair that has been previously bleached. We will be cutting her hair dry and will be using a razor and scissors to complete this haircut. We begin in the nape area. Holding the razor at a 45-degree angle, we begin to carve and sculpt and reshape her nape area. We are carving the nape area following the natural growth pattern. This client has textured hair and the left side grows to the right and the right side grows to the left. So as we're carving, we're cutting the hair ends at an angle. When you slice the tips of multi-textured hair at an angle, you cause the entire hair shaft to curl, coil, curve, wave, whatever the texture is. By slicing the ends at an angle, it encourages the natural wave pattern. When you cut the hair off bluntly, straight across with scissors, that adds bulk and it causes multi-textured hair to poof out like a porcupine. There really is an art to razor hair cutting. You have to use your eye and hand coordination to know exactly where to carve and sculpt and chisel to end up with the perfect haircut. We're using the razor here to carve and sculpt and blend the upper back section with the nape section. What we want to do is reduce the weight on the upper back section so that you don't end up with a ridge. We approach each haircut with the basic 5-panel section: the crown and the fringe area, the 2 right and left front panels, the upper back, and the lower nape area. Because this pixie cut started with such short hair, we didn't go in and individually section each panel, but we started with the lower nape area. What defines a pixie haircut is its shape. Pixie haircuts are very short, from 1/2 inch to no longer than 3 inches in the crown and fringe areas. The nape is very tight, very close to the head, as well as the side panels and sideburns. Now we're encountering a cowlick right in the middle of her nape, and this is perfect for the razor cut because we're able to slice and carve and chisel around her naturally occurring cowlick. Now we're used to having cowlicks in the front of our hairline or in the crown area, but many of us have cowlicks in the nape area. We just never know it because we don't cut our hair that short. You can see the razor sliced hair in the nape area is already lying smoother. Pixie haircuts are always very clean around the ears and the sideburns. And the razor is the perfect tool to carve multi-textured hair to make sure that hair lays flat. When the hair is cut with the proper tools to support the finished hairstyle, the hair always is effortless to maintain. I'm holding the razor straight out as I'm chiseling her sideburns. We are chiseling the sideburns because we don't want to take off too much hair. Now we're going to point nip around her ear to get a nice, clean, crisp design line. The design line of a pixie haircut is very clean and crisp around the edges, very tight and sculpted in the nape area. Now we need to blend the various panels. We're using the scissor over comb, holding the scissors at a vertical angle to continue the sliced tip haircut. We are point nip cutting, holding the scissors at a vertical angle. We're cutting into the hair for an irregular hair end so that it remains consistent with our sliced razor ends. Blending the lower nape area with the upper back panel in multi-textured hair, you have to consider the hair's natural growth pattern. And because she does have a cowlick right in the middle, we're holding the comb and scissors vertically and going in and slightly nipping the ends. Now we'll use scissors to carve the design line around her ear and the front left side panel. I like to keep the hairline really soft and not a hard edge because everything is exposed. And when you have textured hair, you're more prone to ingrown hairs. Razors are good for sculpting and carving and chiseling a style into the hair, but scissors are used for precision and where you need added weight. We are blunt cutting the hair ends in the crown area and the front fringe. Her hair is fine and we need the extra weight and fullness in the crown. We're not cutting any of the hair's length. We are simply nipping off the irregular hair tips. Now, some may think this is hair breakage, but it's actually hair growth. And we're going to get into how the hair is continuously growing. It begins with the Anagen phase. And as you can see here in this diagram, it starts at the base of the hair follicle. Now, it's the hair follicle when it's below the skin, and it's the hair shaft once it goes above the skin. Next phase of the hair growth cycle is the Catagen or regression phase, and this stage lasts about 10 days. The hair follicle shrinks and it detaches from the dermal papillae. Through natural shedding, we lose about 100 hairs per day. Hair shedding is a natural part of the hair's growth cycle. The third phase of the hair growth cycle is the telogen resting phase. And this resting phase lasts around 3 months. And all of the hair follicles are not in this state at the same time. Approximately 10 to 20% of our hairs are in this resting phase, while perhaps another 30% can be in the Catagen phase and then another in the Anagen phase. It is a constantly reoccurring cycle. To 20% of our hairs are in this resting phase, while perhaps another 30% can be in the Catagen phase and then another in the Anagen phase. It is a constantly reoccurring cycle, and that's why I believe these irregular hair ends are from her hair growing and not from her hair breaking. It is very common to have the hair at the top of your hair grow faster than the hair, say, at the back of your hair. Or maybe the hair on the right side grows slower than the hair on the left side. And that's because the cycle of hair growth is irregular throughout our head. There are some parts of our hair that's growing, there are some parts of our hair that's shedding, and there are some parts of our hair that is resting. The process of hair growth is fascinating to biologists. The only thing that can interrupt it is major illness, extreme stress, and some medications. In the past, folks believe that multi-textured hair just didn't grow, but we know that biologically that's just not true. What happened is in the past they didn't have the proper products and tools to properly deal with multi-textured hair, and now they do, and that's what we get into in our multi-textured hair cutting masterclass. Before we can begin to control or enhance multi-textured hair, we have to understand how to read each individual's natural hair growth pattern. And once you are able to identify the natural growth pattern, then you understand the proper tool to use in order to get the desired results. And that's what we get into in the multi-textured haircutting class. Why don't you come and join us at beautywellnesshaircare.com.